Hi. Okay, I'm going to read another poem. This one I wrote a super long time ago because I've been writing poetry for a long time. I've been writing poetry since I was a teenager, and I'm in my 40s now. And for many years, I was pretty determined to try to make a living, but like a non-traditional living through poetry. And I've done a lot of things. I'll talk about that, I'm sure, as we go along. But this one, I was, I guess, in my early 20s, and I used to waitress to fill the gap, and babysit and waitress and stuff. And I won a contest with this poem that came with it. What came with it was a chunk of money, and I remember I got to go to the dentist and or therapy or something. It was like a pretty significant chunk of money for me at that time, so it was huge, and it was cool to win an award. It's called Fragments. He says that the universe is very wide, very large as Lake Michigan on a rainy day, and he wishes his hands were large enough to hold it while he watches opera in an Italian suit and a maroon and beige tie. He wishes that his eyes were large enough to take in the smell of violets, but will settle for the taste of small white candies with the flavor of them written in Roman letters and carried in a tin in his not-so-very-large pocket. He wishes that his ears were large enough to take in the sound of 100 white Russian winters, that his wallet was also large enough to hold enough money to buy a house there, and that his memory were deep enough to hold every moment that he has had in a glass with rounded edges, hand-blown in Italy, because when he dies he knows he will move towards the light and nothing else, and that the universe is very large, though his eyes aren't. And in Los Angeles, it is very hard to see the stars, but sometimes it rains. And there's the smell of jasmine and other night-blooming flowers with names unknown to him, and when he comes home sometimes he swears he can see them, though they are invisible, and they are like a lake of stars he keeps hidden under his tongue that no one else can see, and it is like Russia, so far away he wants to talk about it, but he remembers he is a stranger to himself again, longing to peel away the bark of his old self to become something new. His pockets, though not very large compared to the universe or his phone bill since he has returned from traveling, grow very heavy with the moonstones and the stars and the memories. He translates these two as they glow in the quiet dark like perfectly formed letters in the subtitle to a perfect foreign film. It moves him, like that poem by Pushkin, like that day she wiped the rain from her eyes and smiled. What he wants to retain is the light around her face. What he knows is that it is actually the moon reflecting light that is not its own and filters down to him now, many light years away. When he dreams in fragments. When he sees himself in the mirror, he only sees what is easiest to see. When he speaks in Russian, in a quilt of memories, and when he sees a woman standing on a street corner, holding a cigarette, thinking or waiting, he sees his mother, his neighbor, no, his last lover, with a chip of light in her eye that is so becoming, and he is on a train to remembering what a dream is, what a postage stamp from New Zealand is, what a romance is, what a wet September day is, what a good book in the morning is, what being alone is, what having an itch is, what flavor or color his past is, her smell, her taste, an old country, new to him, one he will never forget. When he dreams in fragments.